Join us for day one of estate sale hunting.
All right, so it's Saturday morning at 8:48. We're about 3 minutes behind schedule, but we're about to leave. Here is our Saturday sales. I divided them up into 2 days this weekend. These are the ones that are ending today, so that means they're 50% off. This one ends tomorrow, but today it's still 40% off, and as you can see from my favorites, there are a lot of things here, so we're going to hit it first. So come along with us. Hey everybody, we are off. We are about 30 minutes away from our first stop. This first stop is an estate sale company called Kickin' and Pickin'. We like their sales. They have really good stuff. Usually they're closer to home. This one's a little bit further out, but that's okay. It's a really good one. There's a lot of china. There's Heron. There is Bernardo, Constance, which is a pattern that I have loved. But at $215 a plate, it's not something I've purchased retail, and this is the first time I've seen it in a estate sale, so I'm excited to see if it's still available and at what price, so we'll see. There's also Christopher Radko Holiday Traditions, which we have 12 of those dinner plates and salad plates, so I'd like to add to our collection since we have 13 when we're all together, and then more if, you know, mom, stepmom, family, extended family come, so we can add to this one. And then our family is still growing, so who knows where they'll stop. So come along. I'm not going to share my finds until the very end, so stick around. Have a good day.
This room had all the Waterford crystal. Most of it still had the original box it came in. Lots of fun stuff in here.
All right, we're at Peachtree Battle. This is their facility. They also do auctions under Ehlers and Ogletree and have gorgeous stuff. So if you like auctions, check them out. So I'll bring you in with us in a minute. The bedside tables are not here, so boo-hoo. This was where they were.
There were 2 sets of china in the back that were not included in the estate sale that was 50% off. These were items from a store, and they were selling it for the store at only 20% off. I fell in love with this Christmas china. I'm not familiar with this pottery or this brand. It was kind of a milky porcelain, very pretty, but it did stay on the shelves. But I did love it. One of the cool things we enjoy about going to estate sales is we get to see lots of great houses, drive all over Atlanta, which Atlanta driving, if you know anything, is not that fun, but we enjoy it. So here we're driving through downtown. Traffic is okay, actually, not bad for a Saturday in Atlanta. Had to drive by my stepmom's old house since we were in Inman Park.
All right, so we're home. Didn't find as much good stuff as we had hoped. It was an okay day. Things were kind of picked over. The one house that had a lot of things was very high priced, which they had a lot of really good names, so I kind of understand that. Tomorrow will be the 50% off day, so we're going to go by at the end and see if the one thing that I really want is there and make an offer and see what happens. But I'm going to share today's finds so far. I'm going to start just with this garden structures book. You can tell where the owner had already tabbed some things, but there was a fabulous backyard, and I've got clips of it that I'll add to this video too. But I like coffee table books, and so there were so many neat things in this one that the owner had actually used on their property. So excited about that one. Next, we found these, and at first I was like, oh, those are cute. And then I thought, wait, I want to do a blue and white Easter table because I have some decoupaged eggs with napkins in blue and white. So I thought these would be perfect to put a little egg on. So there are 6 of these. I have not Google ID'd them to see who they are, so I will be sure to do that and add that to my video when I edit it. But there were 6 of these, which, you know, I'm a sucker for blue, and so they will be really cute with those decoupaged eggs in them, or a little cordial, or a shot, you know, whatever. The next thing, and this was at that same estate sale, which was in Inman Park, which was the neighborhood that my stepmom lived in when her and my dad met. And so we rode by the old house that she owned then. But I found those blue cordial glasses there. And then I also found this butter dish. Google ID kept saying vegetable, but it's just small. And it did come with the strainer as well. There is a small chip in this corner. But I mean, that's to be expected. This is Wedgwood and Company, which is not Wedgwood of like Jasperware and Creamware. This was the cousin Enoch, and he had his own pottery company, not as well known as his famous cousin Josiah. But I loved that the strainer was with it because you don't often find the strainer with it. And I love Blue Willow. That same one also found this Liberty Blue. This one is Washington leaving the Christian church, or the Christ Church. We found a set of Liberty Blue in an estate sale, and it was just on shelf after shelf. And the guy said, $1 a piece. And I said, well, how many pieces are there? I don't want to count all that. And he goes, how about just $85? I was like, okay, deal. There were over 132 pieces. So I'm only missing the Declaration of Independence platter and some of the coasters, and that's it. But I still pick these up here and there. I mean, it was $2, so I'll add it to my set. Next, same one. I think that was the one that we found more things than any other thing, I believe, was this fabric. Okay, I admit, I am not a yellow person. I don't wear yellow. I'm not a fan of it. I prefer cool colors, blues, greens, purples, but I loved this fabric. And so I can't wait to do a table. Look at all the color options. We have some turquoise, some orange, some red, some blues, the yellow, the green. So I can't wait. I also found at that same estate sale, no, this was at the very first one that we went to that had what I really wanted, but we left without it. But these are also Wedgwood and Company, which is the Enoch, and this is Countryside. There is some crazing on it, so we will not be dining on these, but I want to do a plate wall, and I think these would be perfect additions to the plate wall. And there were 2 of those. Then at the last estate sale, we just got a lot of little things. We got this basket. I got some plate hangers for my plate wall. You can buy plate hangers, but a lot of they're kind of flimsy. These are older, and man, they are sturdy. So I always look out for these at estate sales to add to my collection so that I have some sturdy ones to hold my plates. But I liked this basket. I'm always looking for baskets. Then, oops, sorry, got a bump. We also found these little bunnies where I found the basket. Just cute little knickknacks. And then we also found, and we didn't realize at first, I think they're called Capodimontes. You know, that's what I kind of thought they were, but then I picked them up and realized, oh, there's a stopper. And then we looked, and there's 3 holes and 1 hole. So cute little salt and pepper shakers. I won't use them that way. I'll just add them with my flowers for display. And then at that same one, I think this is the last thing I got there. This little fish serving set. This person loved fish. There was a attic space with all sorts of fishing poles and lures and everything. But this is from Wisteria, and I can remember in the mid-90s looking through that catalog and wanting everything in it, but for, you know, a teacher at the time and young married, it was not part of the budget. But so I thought this was cute, and it comes with a little tray. But I was thinking, we have on 4th of July Low Country boil, but like cocktail sauce and tartar sauce would look good in there. Then at that very first estate sale, I picked up these napkins, and I loved the pattern, but the tag said $45, and I was like, no, I mean, there's 4 of them. I don't think so. And then I looked at them again later because somebody had been standing there, so I didn't really get to look at them. So I looked, and it was actually $45 for a set. And there were these placemats as well. Well, the reason why these placemats and napkins are $45 is they are Waterford. So there are 7 placemats and 4 napkins. I will definitely use the napkins. I might sell the placemats. I don't really use square rectangle placemats. I do know that's a rectangle and not a square because a square is a special type of rectangle. Sorry, former math teacher. So I'm kind of on the fence. I do like them, but we'll see. All right, and then the last item I'm going to show you, and you might recognize the box. I have some Waterford glasses, and I'm drawing a blank on what pattern they are, but I kind of had been on the hunt for some at a reasonable price, and so I got these iced beverage glasses for the price of 1. So these are Elberon, and if you have not held Waterford, there's just something about holding them. They're solid. It does have the Waterford. Yes, I'm so sorry. We're puppy sitting for our grands who are on spring break. But there's the Waterford seal. Let's see. You can kind of see it. And so the stickers. I was amazed at this house because everything still had the stickers on them, which, okay, there are times when I pick up things and I forgot to take the sticker off. So I'm bad about that, but it's always funny to me when you go to these places and people still have all of the stickers on. But there was a lot of Waterford at this place, but we got the Elberon, so I'm excited. And that's it. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, because maybe more. We'll see. Hopefully they'll have a deal on what I really want. Stay tuned for that later. My favorite part of this sometimes is seeing some of these houses, and so this one's kind of tucked back. Really cool landscaping. Okay, we're back home. I have all my stuff. It started out ho-hum, got good in a sale. We picked up my Facebook Marketplace purchase. Then we went back by the last sale that we were looking for, the Bernardo pattern constants. They had a reserve on it, a lot more than I wanted to pay. Still a good deal, but I just have so many and I could not justify the price. So Going to share what we did find today. Starting off at the first one, I was disappointed because the quality of what was left, lots of nicks. I did find this set with nicks, but there are some good pieces in here. It's hand painted from Portugal. So here's a fruit one. Here's the marking. They were used as a plate hanging because you can see where they drilled, but I'm thinking they must have fallen a few times because there are chips. This one is not chipped. A pear. There's a plum. It is not chipped. There's a few little spots where something scratched the paint off. So I'll just paint that and add some nail polish or the acrylic sealer that someone recommended. Can't remember what the name of it is, so I'll link it. But this one's a good set. This one, I'm not sure what fruit it is. My first thought was like quince or something, but it has a chip on the back and a few little dings on the front. I will not eat off these because of the chips. So if you're concerned about lead, you know, and you don't want to buy chip dishes, completely understandable. But since these will just be used on a tablescape to photograph, I'm not worried about it. Small chip here. Another pear with a chip. Cherries, very slight chip here. And honestly, you know, if I were holding it, I could just pretend there wasn't a chip, but I'm not going to do that. This one has a big chunk out. One of the things my husband would like to do is figure out how to repair these. So even though you would not use them for dining, you could use these for display. And the last one has a huge chip. So this one probably won't be used at all. So those are from Portugal. Still got a pretty good deal on them. This one is Vista Alegre, which is a Portuguese porcelain company. I hear the dog. And it's a real pretty pattern, so I loved it. This little lone dish is Queen's Castle by Meakin. Let's see. But the colors were my favorite. Loved the colors. I'd like to find more of this. And then, okay, so we go into one of the estate sales that I was just ho-hum about. I'd only saved one item from their pictures. And this is where sometimes you can't just go by pictures alone because there were no pictures posted of this because I would have been there first, especially when I found out they had sold more of these yesterday. But I'm a Georgia girl, born and raised, lived here all my life. Don't think I'll ever live in another state, but I'm not going to say never. So, there was a Sandersville Women's Club who started a fundraiser project, and they approached Wedgwood about plates, and so the Georgia Historical plates came about with Wedgwood producing them. There were 12 different designs, originally in blue, pink, or red, and mulberry. Mulberry, I've only seen a picture of. Red, I have all of the pieces except for one. The estate sale had one, but it had a chip, a big chip, non-repairable, so I left it. So I'm still on the hunt for the women's college one. That's the only one. This one is the James Oglethorpe, who, if you did not know, is the founder of Georgia. If you've been to Savannah, you'll see, you know, Oglethorpe Square and some other things, but this one is him. This one is famous Georgians from the Civil War. So these were the rebels. Early Georgia history. Oh, wait, nope. This one is actually the colonial times because there's Button Gwinnett, George Walton. They were signers of the Declaration of Independence and were well known during the Revolutionary War, which is my favorite time in history. This one is the burning of the Yazoo Act. And basically what happened was land was sold that actually was part of Georgia that is now Mississippi and Alabama, and they did not agree with it, so they burned the act. But obviously, their burning of the act didn't change it because we're just Georgia where we're at, and Mississippi and Alabama are states as well. This one is the Georgians who fought in the Civil War, the war between the states, the war of northern aggression, whatever you want to call it. And these were Georgians who fought on the side of the Confederacy. So now my collection is almost done with the red. I have a few of the blue. All right, next up, I did pick up this bag of fruit with pears. I pick these up all the time. This was $4 for the whole bag. So that's a fun find. My Facebook Marketplace are these beautiful light blue plates. And if you can see the tablecloth, this is where they're going to go. But they're by Primavera, which I'd never heard of, but it's a Portuguese porcelain company, so they're really pretty and I love the color. But I picked up 12 of those. This little vase was a $4 find. Reminded me of kind of tobacco leaf, even though it isn't, but it's the bright colors. Pretty butterflies and flowers. And then today was a glassware day, which I love colored glassware. I don't buy a lot of clear glass unless it has etchings. But first up, I found 6 of these. They were so dusty. They have had a bath. They have been washed. But these are Fostoria. It's pattern 877 optic according to replacements. They were made 1926 to 1927. So these have survived almost 100 years. They're very delicate, very light. They will probably only be used for a table setting, not to actually drink out of, because they're just so delicate, and it would break my heart for these to break. Break my heart to break. So I had 6 of those. All right, so this next one was our last estate sale that we had gone to yesterday, and then went back today hoping for the Bernardo plates, which are not ours. They're still the family's. They put a reserve on it, which I get. I mean, if it were my estate sale, I would want our daughters to make sure that they got the best price, and they were not. So but these were out, and he said they were there yesterday, but I did not see them. So these are Lenox Provincial Blue, but I think that they look fabulous with the light blue plates I picked up. So excited about those, but there were only 4 of those, so I'd have to do a small table of 4 with those. And then the last find, like I said, it's kind of a slow day, which for some of you in some areas, you may not have a lot of estate sales, so this may be a good day. But for Atlanta, it's a little slow. We did skip several, so we could have probably came home with more loot, but we didn't. These are Anchor Hawking Green Burple inspired. I have a set of these. I picked up 10 more. I may sell them, I may not, because it's kind of nice to have one set that I have a lot of, and this would be it. So I'll probably hang on to them. We'll see. But, oh, and the last thing, so if you've seen my blog, you know I painted some chocolate bunnies. Well, I wanted some more bunnies so that I could paint them gold. So picked up these 2 for 50 cents each, so $1. So they'll be gold and go on an Easter table, either this year or next year. Depends on how quick I get it together. So thanks for coming along with me.